All right, Ryan. So, welcome to our podcast, and I'm really excited for people actually to hear it firsthand from you.
Thanks for having me.
So, success often starts when you see an opportunity that many people overlook, and even when you tell them, they don't necessarily see it or believe it. What was that opportunity for you when you started? Because you started in COVID, right? Your company. And that was like the worst time to start for in the eyes of many people, but you saw it as an opportunity.
Yep, I had a head start because I got into sales and started doing real estate 12 years before I started my own company. And so what I was able to do was I looked at the way I had found success as a salesperson, using content and brand awareness, especially personal brand creation to sell properties. And I said to myself, okay, if I could do this for myself, imagine what I could do for everybody else, to the benefit of, of my own company and to the benefit of just helping other people. I think if I were to start a company just for myself, it would be short-lived. So I think if you're starting a company to really scale value for your people and your customers, then you can build a timeless business. And so the unlock and the opportunity that I saw, and maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong, was I saw how content to commerce and creator brands were working for tangible products like energy drinks, food, makeup, clothing. But it hadn't yet transcended into the world of high ticket items, right? Like luxury real estate, luxury cars, really. In part because there's only so many people who are buying $1 million, $10 million, $200 million properties, right? You're not buying it on a store shelf. It's on an e-commerce checkout with a credit card. But I said, I don't think the properties are the product. I think the people are the product. And so I can build a content to community to commerce business for real estate agents and salespeople, where the people are my product, not the real estate. And I'll follow a framework of the 4 Ps, which is people, purpose, people, product, profit. And so if I have purpose first, everyone will be aligned on a singular mission. And if I have the right people, then we can sell any product. It doesn't have to be real estate. And then if the product moves and we have product market fit, then you can generate profits. And I saw a lot of other people were focused on product first, or they were focused on profits first. And it was just a backwards way to do it. But my unlock was the content to community commerce for real estate, which hadn't been done before.
3, 4 years down the line, at a scale of 10, 10 being, you got what you planned for, where do you stand today?
So Serhant has existed now for just about 4 years. And we're much bigger and far more successful today than I ever thought we were going to be by this amount of time. I think the market has been helpful for that. I think in our business, right?
Yeah.
Like we let bad markets define us, and then we don't let good markets define us. But I think a market being strong can be very helpful, right? And so I think the market has been great for us for now. I think we're probably 8 out of 10 from where I thought we would be.
What was by far the biggest challenge you faced at the very beginning of starting your own business?
I think the people. It's really, really hard to scale yourself. It's really tough to scale yourself. How you sell, how you handle interactions. You and I were speaking about this earlier, how you manage customer service, the way you talk to people, the way you lower your voice, the way you raise your voice, the way you show empathy, enthusiasm, energy is really, really, really difficult to scale.
How did you deal with that?
I tried to write it all out and just do trainings. And I think the mistake a lot of other people make is you don't put in the time.
Yeah.
Like you got to put in the time. And then if somebody doesn't want to listen to you, then great. At least you put in the time to find out early that this person is not right for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't put in the time, then all you're doing is not setting expectations, but you are setting up future resentment.
Yeah.
So it's the people that are still to this day the biggest challenge, because you can have the greatest ability to execute, but if you have the wrong person, then the idea is pointless.
Okay. I totally agree with you. I think training is the main key. Like there are no alternatives to training and putting the time in. And then I find it very helpful to actually embed that within, like embed that as an integral process within the structure and the system and the governance you have in the company. So to a certain degree, you know how things are running because you can't be there you can't be everywhere at the same time.
Sure.
Can you share 3 key milestones or the most important key milestones in your 4 years journey?
Ooh, key milestones in our 4-year journey. Other than starting,
Yeah.
I think, one of the milestones to me feel, well, they probably will sound super simple, but our first sale. And I was assuming our first sale was going to be for like $1. And I was just hopeful that we could do something. And in my mind, I was like, man, if we start this company and someone trusts us to sell something for $10 million, that would be huge. And our first sale was for $22.5 million US dollars. I still have the contract.
Was it you or your agent?
No, it was me. It was me.
Was you?
Because when we started, it was me. It was me and 3 people. And so that was a huge milestone, and it was a legitimizer. It was a confidence boost. It was kind of that like slap on the back that you need when you first start a company, that where you said, "Oh, okay, great. I don't need to be anywhere else. Somebody who has that kind of money is willing to trust me, and it is about the person." So that was milestone 1. Milestone 2, I would say, was when we first started. When we opened our first market, that was not New York. So we opened Florida because it was our first test to see, okay, in New York City, I'm there, right? Like in Dubai, you're here. Yeah. You can get to your offices if you need to by car. Okay, if I'm going to go a place where I have to fly there and I'm not there every day, if that can be successful, then that can be an unlock for all markets. And so that was milestone 2, was unlocking a market that I was not in physically. And then milestone 3 was Netflix, to be honest. Like I love media, I love content. It's what I trained for my whole life before getting into real estate. And having Netflix look at us and say, we want to do a New York show. Who's the best brokerage in New York for us to follow with the best people? And we choose Serhant. That was like a solid milestone 3.
Yeah, I agree. So the biggest talk in town today among real estate agents, and I think it's been always the same, but now it's more towards more of a mature market. So it used to be just about getting a listing so you can advertise and generate leads. Today it's more about getting an exclusive listing.
Yep.
Right? So talking to a seller and getting the seller to trust you, not just to promote his property, but actually to promote his property exclusively. And I know that when it's done right, exclusivity has a big gain for sellers. But how do you train your agents to communicate that to sellers so they can gain their trust and get them to sign with them on an exclusive basis?
So if you control the inventory, you control your income. So we work with all of our agents to be exclusive sales agents. You want to be exclusive listers. And it's actually backwards. I think most agents try to position it all about the client, right? Here's why you should work with me. You should work with me. Sign this, sign this, sign this. When really it's a mindset shift about why you as an agent would ever even want to work with somebody if they weren't exclusive with you. It's like dating.
Yeah.
You know? If I go and meet you for the first time and I'm like, hey, I'm great. Look at me. I'm amazing. Look at I work out. I do this. Marry me. You're probably like, great. Perfect. Next. But if we meet for the first time and I'm like, hey, how are you? And you say, great. How are you? Say, I'm doing really, really well. I'm having a great year. You say, oh, okay. So now I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And when you only work with exclusives, right? You actually learn the power of no more, and then more people want to list with you. More people want to sell with you. You create a velvet rope effect, and you actually start valuing your own time more. And it's hard to teach new agents because you have to teach them that in the beginning, you're going to do less business because you're going to end up saying no, and you're not going to take on every opportunity. But in return, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, future you is really going to thank you that you held tight for only the best. And you position that value proposition not just to the client, but to yourself.
Yeah. But in your own world, company, and market, how do you train your agents practically to approach sellers and to pitch sellers for exclusivity? Like, what do you tell them to do? How do they come on a phone or they go to meet a seller?
Sure.
What do they tell the seller?
I
how
think
do they prepare for it?
I think we have a little bit of a leg up in the United States because you only work with exclusive sellers. You don't take on open listings like in New York and South Florida and the markets that we're in. So the sellers are already aware that you're coming to meet with them, not for an open listing, because why would I waste my time? You know,
exclusivity there is solo, or you can do co-exclusive?
You can do a co-exclusive. You typically wouldn't though.
Yeah.
Because you want the owner to make a decision, right? It's about like making that decision and creating that ownership and accountability. So if you list with me, I now have a fiduciary responsibility to you. And I'm going to wake up every day thinking about how I'm going to sell your home. I'm going to spend money, and I'm going to do that. If you want to give it to me as an open listing, that's fine. I'm going to stick it on my website. I'll let you know if I have a buyer. I'm not going to wake up every day thinking about you, because if you're not willing to commit to me, I'm not willing to commit to you.
Right.
Every
Especially
listing.
full-time.
Yeah, every listing's an open listing. Especially in Dubai. Like everything is for sale. Everything is open. And so tactically, our agents have books, they have pamphlets, they have things digital, they have it in print, they have a significant amount of video assets. So they're able to sit down with a seller and they say, these are our pillars, right? Our 4 pillars at Serhant, when you work with us exclusively, start with research. Okay? Start with presentation is pillar number 2. Okay? Then we go to sales, and then creative and marketing. If you hire us exclusively, you get all those just for the commission. You don't have to pay me up front. And I'm making a bet on you as well. I'm hoping this is going to sell. Otherwise, this is a poor investment on my part.
And what percentage of exclusive listings eventually get sold and what not?
In New York,
typically
about 30%.
30% gets sold.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And the listing that doesn't get sold, you lose it to another agency.
It gets taken off the market. It goes to another agent, typically at a lower price, right? Or it gets rented. So it's one of those 3 things. Off market, another agent, usually at a lower price, or it gets rented out. And that's the dice that you have to roll when you're in this business, right? That's also why the commissions are what the commissions are. If you don't want to if you want to remove all of those and say, hey, I'm definitely going to sell it, I'm going to hire you no matter what, then you have flat fees. Yeah. There's discount brokerages, there's all that, but then there's no risk. So then I'm not going to work nearly as hard.
Yeah. You didn't just build a powerful brand in your market. You actually took it globally. Mm-hmm. How do you train your agents on leveraging on what you built? Not just for you. I think you're going at scale because you're going to grow your team and you're going to do it at scale. And you know that it will benefit them a lot. It will help them a lot. So how do you train them to monetize and to leverage what you've built in terms of brand equity at a personal level and at a company level, and what is the difference as well?
So first, it all starts with how they speak. It's verbal. So no one uses the word I or me. It's always we. It's always us. It's Ryan and I, right? It's the company. It's the firm. When you come and work with Ryan, when you come and work at the company, you are now part of a community, the same way you talk to your agents. You're now part of a family. Our sales are your sales. We just listed this building. We just made this mega sale. We just. And so it all starts with that mindset and the language that is used from those agents to their other agents and to their customers that let them know that when you hire me, new agent Sam, you're not just hiring Sam, you're hiring all of Serhant. You're hiring Ryan too. You're hiring all of our resources. And that's really, really, really important. You got to remove all ego and become part of the us, right? Wow. Because us, we, together, we're going to get this done. And then a lot of the legwork, the ground up, the boots on the ground, that's going to be me personally. And that's what you want. You want that soldier, right? You want Marcus Aurelius in the front, and then you want the whole army behind you. And that's a huge part of the pitch. From there, you know, it's like that. I think there's that story of like someone, you know, he charges $1,000 to turn a screw. Like, that seems way too expensive. Like, well, it's $1 to turn in the screw. It's $999 to know which screw to turn. And that took me 10 years to get to. So I've been building my brand, the way we sell, our creative marketing funnel, all our resources for 16 years. You just started with me today. You get all of that right now.
Yeah.
You have access to it. You don't have to work for it. Like, congratulations. Yeah. And that's our business relationship. I did that for all of us, for the togetherness.
And they pass that access to their clients. And at the back of this, they build that relationship.
Yep. Which is why there's also...
Can you tell me one story?
One strike rules.
Can you give me one example of one agent came back to you and said, I've met this client, and the client said, oh, wow, Ryan, okay, I know that you work with Ryan, and the agent felt that the credibility is already there, like 50%.
I mean, every agent. I mean, it's they wouldn't be at our company if that didn't happen every other day. It happens all the time. I mean, the Netflix effect was massive for us too. Just over the summer, that show came out and totally changed our life. Like, it's, you know, I've been doing social media for a long time. I had another TV show. I had 4 TV shows before the Netflix show. Nothing compares to what that did. We had people watch that show, get in their car, come and just find any Serhant agent and say, I love that company. Who are you? You work with Serhant? You know Ryan? Perfect. You're going to sell my house. $8 million. Like, change our agents' lives overnight. We had an agent in New York City. She's not on the TV show. Her name is Krista. She does a lot of business in Tribeca. A client reached out to her and said, hey, I'd love to buy something through Serhant in Tribeca. I see that you work there. She said, yes, great. She wasn't on the show, but by being associated with our company, they did a deal for $15.5 million, which over email, right? We've had other instances up and down the coast where we have a guy in Florida, in Tampa, who has taken a Corvette and painted it with Serhant all over the Corvette and drives it around town. And he's like, I don't even run paid ads anymore. I just drive this car around. People stop it. I talk about real estate. I get buyers and sellers that way.
Wow.
I know. It's so weird.
So to this point, do you believe that it is actually more of an obligation and a responsibility for every sales leader, let alone every CEO, to actually be there for the entire company and to invest time on their own personal brand and on the brand equity of the company so everyone can actually benefit from that? Do you feel it's an obligation?
Yeah, I named the company after myself, you know, so I got to be super careful. But I wear the responsibility of everyone on my back. I carry that every single day. Their success is my success. Their failures are my failures. You know, my mistakes are then their mistakes, and that crushes me. And I take it very, very, very personally. And I want all of them to win way more than I want, you know, myself to win.
Looking at other markets and just sales leaders in other markets, do you believe that it's a responsibility and an obligation on them to work on their personal brand for the sake of their own team? Because at the end of the day, your agents are competing with other companies in the US within the same market where probably the CEOs or whoever owns the company or runs the company is not there, right? They don't have their own brand equity. Obviously, it's not the only way to make business, but it's one of these competitive edges that agents will benefit big time out of if the CEO goes the extra mile to actually build that, and it takes years to build that, right?
Yep.
So how important is that for other sales leaders in other companies, in other markets?
I don't know what else they're doing if they're not doing exactly what you just talked about. You want to lead by example, right? Every sales leader in every market, the people that work with you have signed up to go to battle for you every single day. And so they're going to battle for you by example, or they're not. And I want every agent that works under me and every agent that works underneath all of our other sales leaders to be excited to get up and go to work every day. This business is hard. Not having a salary, trying to sell all day long. Now, I don't push all of our leaders to be out there doing dances on TikTok. They don't have to do what I do all day long, but they should do what is unique to them.
Play to their strength, right?
Always.
If you're good writing articles, write articles.
Do LinkedIn all day long, right? Yeah. If you're good at lip syncing, do that too. Yeah. If you're good at talking about the market, do that. Figure out what your strength is, understand what your weaknesses are, and play to those strengths, because that'll also help your agents understand how to play to their own strengths.
Yeah, because to go all out on social media, I feel
it's a job.
It's the biggest sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like it's the finest, it's the biggest breach of privacy.
Sure.
Someone can ever do to himself or herself.
Yeah.
Because literally you have to go all out. And that means your personal time, sometimes I make videos and I take them and then I want to go live and then, you know what, this is me time, you know what?
Sure.
And I just delete the video.
Yeah.
Because it is like, it's a breach of privacy, totally, right? So it's a big sacrifice. It's what agents, or some people see on the outside, like, okay, you're just doing videos. No, not just doing videos. It's a big sacrifice. That's why it's not easy. That's why not everyone is there, right?
It's also selling real estate is the business of you.
Yeah.
No one's coming to me to buy a home. They're coming to me to buy a home with me. Yeah. They're not coming to FAM just to find a condo, right? They're coming to this company to find an apartment to buy or sell through this company. They're making that choice, right? There's a connection there, and it's about trust. It's really about trust. There's a little less trust spending $1 million on the internet than there is to buy the same exact property, but I'm doing it through somebody who knows what they're doing, and I'm happy to pay you a fee because I just want that comfort. So I'm paying for comfort. I'm paying for trust, and social is the building of that trust in a passive way. So you can wake up with leads in your inbox. So you can wake up with new business that knows you before you know them, because it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
When we made the decision, or the best decision, to actually work with you and, to collaborate with you on the Game Changers event, which will be a big success tomorrow, one of my agents said, yes, Ryan hit the jackpot with his latest Netflix show, Owning Manhattan. And I said, trust me, that's not just the show. He's done that for 10 years, and the show on its own is like what you said today in the car. He said it's just one knock on the door.
Correct.
But it's insane hard work before and after, right? Otherwise, many people did real estate shows. You did 4 real estate shows before, and you were nowhere near where you are today, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you have to tell people just to explain about the hard work that stands behind the success that you've done in the social media space? It's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job. I look at it like, I don't know, it's a 3-wheel bicycle. Like, you can pedal 1 wheel and you're only going to go so fast. You can pedal 2 wheels, you go so fast. But if there's 3 wheels on that bicycle, that's what the bicycle was meant to do, and that's how you're going to go the fastest. And that's how you're also going to be the safest. You won't fall over. 1 wheel is television for me. 1 wheel is social media. 1 wheel is the news, is writing. I write a lot, right? So I write articles, I do annual letters, I talk about the market. So you have thought leadership, you have entertainment, and then you have the business of it all right there on that middle wheel. So the TV show definitely helps. Like, I'm super lucky, very, very fortunate that I've had all of these opportunities, because they are one big knock on the door to any opportunity I've ever opened, but I still have to get the door to open. I still have to figure out what door I want to even knock on. And then one of those other wheels is there to allow the door to open. And then one of the other wheels gets the door closed.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it through to people.
Is it?
Yeah. I hope, I mean, not everyone will really get to recognize and realize how much work. I think even though you did the show, but this is not a one-time investment for a one-time outcome, right?
Yeah.
It will serve you for the years and the years to come. You, your agents, your company. So
here's what I'll tell you. I think that might be more helpful, actually, to your agents or to anyone listening. I think it used to be that we were real estate 1.0. Okay, so real estate 1.0 was you had real estate to sell, and you really had like one interaction with clients. Maybe it was through newspapers, maybe it was through open houses, maybe it was personally, you'd meet people in groups. So that's real estate 1.0, very simple, pre-internet. Internet comes along, you have real estate 2.0. Now you're meeting people out there. Now you're also meeting people online. Now you're meeting people on their phone. Today, content to community to commerce, you have real estate 3.0, and you've got to have 3 touch points if you want to succeed today. It can be people that you meet networking, people through sport, people through kids, whatever that might be. Maybe it's then the news. You like to help a publicist, you help reporters out, you talk about the market in Dubai. The third is maybe you have a vlog on YouTube where you talk about kitchens. Maybe you're just very active on Instagram. Every weekend you have a series or something. Your name is, Michael, and you've got Michael's Minute where you talk about real estate. You've got those 3 touch points, and so everyone needs to have 3 today. If you want to be successful in real estate 3.0, you have to have 3 potential touch points with your clients, and you will be successful.
All right. You've prepared for and you've conducted and executed successfully countless of real estate events. Anything stood out to you when the game changers came to your table?
One, I'd never seen an event like this in Dubai, let alone the entirety of the Middle East, the UAE. I'd never seen a ticketed event before. I'd never seen something this big before. I'd never seen something also this agent-centric before. I've done a lot of events for developers. I've done a lot of sponsored events where it's a big sell for something. This to me really felt like somebody, a CEO, someone of significance, yourself, who is putting on an event to the benefit of all of the attendees, where it really felt like you weren't doing an event just to do one, because clearly you're busy. You've got other stuff to do. You don't need to be doing events. You're selling buildings, selling properties. You were signing on contracts when we sat down here to do this podcast. You're really doing it to help everyone else around you become game changers themselves. And that seemed really, really cool to me.
Honestly, as a leader within the market, I feel, leadership is not just a motto or a title. I genuinely feel that there is a responsibility on me to pay back to the entire market.
Yep.
And I think, there are what they call secrets. I think you've been there, you know it very well.
Yes.
The recipe in theory is very simple. It's like someone sees someone with a really fit body and the other guy, the fit guy, tells this guy what the secrets are. He's doing 1,000 push-ups a day.
Yep.
It's up to you. You can do 1,000 push-ups a day and get to the same level. You can do 2,000 and get more. Or you can do 500 and settle for less. So what many people don't realize is that sharing knowledge is not. Many people are insecure about sharing knowledge, but I think it's a massive part that has to follow absorbing all that knowledge, and it's the hard work. And I feel that I really want to contribute to the overall market, and in specific to those who are willing to put the work right after, sharing the knowledge and the experience that you have or I have, whether these guys work for Fan Properties or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants the view. Nobody wants the climb.
Yeah. All right, so I think I'm done. Thank you very much. It's been great to have you here. I'm sure we will smash it tomorrow.
Let's do it. Big day tomorrow.
Right, and it will be a start for something much bigger.
Let's do it. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.